please hit subscribe on this channel if you have not done so already. Great, Samuel. Thank you. I would truly appreciate it. I seem to have just, I know it's a niche channel, but I kind of just fluctuate around the same number, and I would like to see a boost. I mean, I know if I did more wide interest items that I would get that, but I enjoy what I do and I'm happy with my audience. But if you have not hit subscribe, man, I got terrible nose itch, please do so. I would truly appreciate it. Also, as you know, follow me on Twitter, Karen Ann Harlos. I'm uploading a lot of shorts lately that are just clips from my longer form videos, and they're good for sharing, like for people who don't like the marathons that I tend to do. And last but not least, I would truly appreciate your support on patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. All right, we're going to get right to the history. First, I do want to tell you I will not be streaming tomorrow. LPCO board meeting tomorrow, so that is enough. I am taking off. I have the Michael Knowles and some Matt Walsh clips probably lined up for Tuesday, and then I'm hoping maybe Wednesday, somewhere this week, to finally get to grade the report card. I had to do all of the groundwork that I laid on exactly what are some of the differences between classical liberalism qua classical liberalism and libertarianism qua libertarianism. Before we get to our last page of this LP news, I'm just gonna be a little bit of history here. We're gonna go back a little bit more. Some people will understand the significance of this. So it's a kind of, if you know, you know. I have in front of me Reason Magazine from February 1972. And the February 1970, you know the way magazines come out. The February issue probably hit mailboxes the end of January or the first week of February. So what do we have here? Well, first, before I show you, I just have a question for you. Do you think there were libertarians in Michigan in February, January 1972? I'm not talking about Libertarian Party people, because the party just formed, but just libertarians or even hostile people. Do you think anyone was getting Reason Magazine in the state of Michigan in 1972 February? Of course. We got their mailing list. At the time, that's how we initially grew the party. So, was the Libertarian Party using the name Libertarian Party in Michigan in January/February, referring to the National Party in 1972? Well, I don't know. There seems to be a huge-ass ad for the Libertarian Party in the February 1972 edition of Reason, which had nationwide distribution, including in Michigan. And I will just leave it at that. Okay. Now we're going to move on to May, June 1975. And we are on, I want to put this actually up on the screen. I want to show you guys where we are. We did that. We are at World News Notes for Libertarians. Campaign regulations was continued from a prior page, so we already covered that. So all we have left to cover in this issue is World News Notes for Libertarians. But remember, we circled a bunch of things where there were newspaper articles that we were going to go back to. So there will still be more episodes, but they will be like bonus episodes of me rooting through newspapers.com to see what else I can find. But let's go to World News Notes for Libertarians. And I did want to test something here. I'm doing other webcam because I'm still learning the software. See if this works again. If I draw this camera over here. Yes. So look, you get me in 2 different versions. Hey. And now you can see like a little bit of how messy it is back here. It looks much neater right when you just get the front view, huh? So let's get that off the screen, though I do think that's kind of cool. I really do like that. What would be interesting to do with that is if you were doing some kind of tutorial, or you could have the cam, like that's where your hands are. Like if you were doing, I know this isn't a beauty channel, but like if your nails or something, you could be talking and still be showing. Anyway, I think that's super cool feature. So we're going to start back with world news notes for libertarians. Say that 10 times twice. 10 times twice. What does that mean? Okay, so torrid zone. Miami has been shaken recently by a zoning scandal, and this is what I wanted this for.
It's a scandal, girls.
Okay, in which 3 Dade County commissioners were indicated by a grand jury. I think that's supposed to be indicted, but okay, they were indicated by a grand jury for conspiring to accept bribes for casting their votes on zoning charges. Coverage in the May 13th New York Times quoted a Miami lawyer saying, zoning is the biggest single corrupter of local governments. So let's circle that. We're going to try to find that article. Yeah, I guess I just needed to reboot my computer. So if this all stayed in one stream on YouTube, I'm going to go edit it. You can do it in the YouTube editor, though it's really sloppy. But anyway, then next one, nothing doing. Jubal Hale, Executive Secretary of the Federal Metal and Non-Metallic Safety Board of Review in Washington, receives a $19,693 a year salary for reading and listening. Thank you. Okay. The board has, oh, where were we at? Okay. So they received about a $20,000 a year salary for reading and listening to recordings of Beethoven's music in his office. In 1975, $20,000 a year is a lot. The board has never had anything to review in its 4 years of existence. We have been expecting to be abolished for over 2 years, Hale says, but Congress has not acted on the matter. So basically, they got paid for 2 years to do nothing. And the guy in the office was a Beethoven fan, so that's what he did. Freedom of the press. The Federal Communications Commission has announced that it will ask Congress for tougher and more specific laws to combat obscenity on television. According to the FCC, current laws pertaining to indecency on the radio are too vague to prohibit televised indecency effectively. Gotta regulate that televised indecency. Searches and seizures. A Maryland gun collector who was shot and permanently disabled by Treasury agents. By Treasury agents. That's like the IRS, right? 3 years ago, has lost his $5 million damage suit against the federal government. The judge ruled that the gun collector and his wife, who were innocent of any criminal activity, had acted imprudently when they tried to defend themselves as the disguised government agents burst into their home. Oh my goodness. I'm going to see if we can find some coverage on this. That is crazy. An Illinois couple that sued federal narcotics agents for damages from a mistaken raid that left their house in shambles, and it says shambles. Is shambles a word? I think that's supposed to be shambles, but I want to make sure. I'm going to see if shambles is a word. Otherwise, they really need an editor on this edition, but I don't think shambles is a word. No, actually, shabble is a word, but not that would fit in here. A shabble is a type of curved or crooked sword or saber. That's definitely, they meant shambles. Have lost in court and now have been hit with a nearly $6 million slander suit brought by the agents who were temporarily suspended from duties. Holy crap. That is insane. There was an issue here in Colorado. I should try to find that story if we cover these later, where like the cops completely wrecked like this guy's house, trying to, I think the guy that they were pursuing broke into someone's house, if I remember correctly, because he stole a belt from Walmart or something, and they completely destroyed this townhome, and insurance wouldn't cover it because it was not an accident like type thing, and the state wouldn't cover it either. I don't know what eventually happened with that case. I think it was in Lakewood. I am super curious now. Let me see if I could find it quickly. If not, well, I'll try to find it for a future show. So I think it was Lakewood. Police destroyed home will not pay. Let's see if that Google search brings up anything. Yep, federal court. It was Greenwood Village. Yeah, check this out. I'm going to see if I can pull up this article. Yeah, oh my God, look at this. Look at what the police did to this house. I'm going to pull this. You will not believe this. I might be wrong about the belt thing. Somehow I have that in my head. We're going to look at this article. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's take the chat off the screen for a second here. Look at this. See the picture of that house? Look what they did to it. So the Leck family home was uninhabitable after an hours-long standoff with police involving an armed suspect who took shelter in their home. So it was Greenwood Village. So there was a burglar alarm at the home. So I think I'm wrong about somehow I got this confused with another story. So they responded to a burglar alarm. All family members made it safely outside. But Robert Seacat, who was attempted to evade capture by the Aurora Police Department, was inside the randomly chosen home and refused to come out. And look at what they did to this house. Oh my goodness. But they would not pay for the damage. And this guy lost in court. Wow. I'm trying to see if it says what the guy did. Not that it matters. Well, there's the suspect. No, he was convicted on a bunch of stuff. So he didn't steal a belt. That somewhere I got my facts confused. But still, you don't destroy somebody's house. My word. That is insane. How long is this video clip?
So this happened June or July of 2015?
This happened in June of 2015.
So you have been fighting this for years?
For years, absolutely, absolutely.
With this new ruling, how are you feeling?
Well, with this new ruling, what it really goes to show is that the average private citizen has absolutely no rights in these kind of cases. They can actually come in and blow up your house, throw you out in the street, render you homeless, and say to go deal with it. You know, really the bottom line is there, under absolutely no circumstances should a government agency be allowed to blow up somebody's home, throw them out in the street, render them homeless, and just walk away from it in any civilized society. What happened to us is a third world. By any stretch of the imagination, it's completely third world.
But we're not in a third world country.
We're not. We're not. We're in a country that
Okay, that's a long video, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. If you guys are interested in the story, you can find it at 9news.com and just look for no compensation for Greenwood Village family after police destroy home. I remember when that happened because I was a brand new Libertarian at the time, but I was on the board and we had put out all kinds of press releases and stuff. He said it happened in 2015. Maybe I wasn't on the board yet, but I know I was volunteering for social media because I joined the party in 2014. So this was right after I became a Libertarian. Wow. That is just crazy what they did to that guy's house. Calling a halt. There is a new breed of liberal Democratic politicians on the scene who are attending to, I can't, there's like blotted out word here, whatever that says, libertarian concerns of the masses. The most prominent such liberal is California Governor Edmund G. Brown Jr. Brown recently told Newsweek, action has been the catchword, but people feel that things are being done to them, not for them. Sometimes non-action is better. Sometimes we need fewer programs, less planning, and more space to live our lives. That doesn't sound like California today, does it? Brown has taken a 7% salary cut, refused to live in the newly built governor's mansion, said that prisons are for punishment, not rehabilitation, and said that the state had no business interfering in people's private sex lives. He recently told the graduating class of the University of Santa Clara, you have to depend on yourself, your own energy, your own creative potential. Don't think government is going to provide it for you. Boy, that's nothing like California today. And he continues, people are always looking for a laundry list of government programs that are going to unwind the future. That isn't going to happen. Brown's views are similar to those of Maine's independent governor, James Longley, and Illinois Governor Daniel Walker. And Walker, I guess, said, more often than not, it's better for the government to stay out of problems. Absolutely agree. Oh, I want to stick the chat back up on the screen. Let me see if I can get that back up. Here we go. There we are. Perfect. The visible hand. In mid-May, Senator Hubert H. Humphrey, Democrat, Minnesota, and Jacob K. Javits, Republican, New York, introduced legislation to create a system for more thoroughgoing central economic planning. I thought it was going to, like, after those few governor quotes, I was looking forward to more good news, but now it's just going right back into crap. Backing this measure is an organized group of business executives, of course there is, and social democratic intellectuals, of course there are. The same elements that in the 1930s pushed for a planned corporate state are at it again. And you know what planned corporate states are? That's called fascism. But anyway, some big businesses, like businessmen, like auto executive Henry Ford II and banker Robert V. Russa of Brown Brothers Harriman have joined a united front with moderate social democrats like Harvard economist Wassily Leontief. What kind of name is that? And labor leader Leonard Woodcock. Sorry. I'm not. That's what she said. Okay. Next thing you know, they'll propose bringing back the old blue eagle, symbol of the New Deal's NRA. Next section, far and yon. Uganda leader Idi Amin has sentenced a British lecturer to death for writing a satire ridiculing Amin. The leftist military government of Portugal has banned Maoist and conservative groups and permitted the seizure of the official Socialist Party newspaper. Why don't they do something constructive next time, like wrecking NATO? Oh, all the people, all the libertarians today who are in favor of NATO. Torture raids by the secret police and rampant inflation continue to plague Chile. Things were bad enough under Allende. Next, battling tax eaters. 6 Democrats on the House Armed Services Committee joined the vanguard of the budget-cutting crusade with a recent suggestion that the Pentagon's weapons request be cut by $6 billion. The group was led by Les Aspin of Wisconsin and included Bob Carr of Michigan, Ronald Dellums of California, Thomas Downey of New York, Jim Lloyd of California, and Patricia Schroeder of Colorado. A set of economists at Ford Motor Company have found that there are more people being supported by taxes, 80,655,000, than there are workers in the private sector to support them. Excuse me, that's 80,655,000, excuse me. And that number of the workers is 71,650,000. So about 9 million more being supported than supporters. In fiscally troubled New York City, the June 9th New York Times noted that the 400,000 municipal employees, their spouses, parents, children, relatives, and friends account for a large share of the 900,000 voters who turn out for the Democratic primary and the 1.7 million who vote in a general election. Good news. South Africa's urban blacks are being permitted some limited property rights. Remember, this is during the time of apartheid. Black city dwellers will be allowed to purchase occupation rights to houses. My God, that sounds disgusting. Can you imagine purchasing occupation rights? Sell such rights, buy urban land and build on it, or bequeath their rights. Urban black merchants and traders will be allowed to handle a wider range of goods than heretofore. Urban doctors and other professionals will be allowed to own their own offices and consulting rooms. A panel of judges, okay, and that was it for that. Then it says this is going on to another subject. What the hell is that noise? I think that YouTube let me close that. Okay, sorry about that. That page I left up started playing another video. Oh boy. Okay. Now, where was I at? A panel of judges ruled that California's pharmaceutical board may not prohibit the advertising of prescription drug prices. The California legislature repealed a law barring females under 18 from selling newspapers on the streets. These laws are so stupid. And a law restricting the employment of female messengers. Judicial review. The Alaska Supreme Court recognized the legality of private marijuana use. The highest court in Massachusetts ruled that the state's anti-sex laws don't apply to sex acts between consenting adults and private, while the legislature in California passed a law legalizing all such private consensual sex. The way they put all these sentences together, I know there's ... between them, but it's like they jump from pot to sex. It's like, okay. And lastly, nightmares come true. I'm going to do the ... because otherwise these thoughts that they put in like this article with under these various headings just seem really random. Senator Proxmire disclosed the fact that the national government spent $500,000 over 7 years to find out what causes rats, monkeys, and humans to clench their jaws. Government does ... An issue of Time with Cher Bono on the cover was banned in Tampa, Florida as offensive sexual material. I'm going to see if we can find an article on that. I want to see this cover. ... In New York, a law requires that children's pajamas contain a fire retardant which washes out in any soap but phosphate detergent. But phosphate detergent is illegal in New York. ... A company was fined by an OSHA inspector for possession of an unsafe piece of equipment, even though it was in a storeroom and hadn't been used for 20 years. My God. ... The latest report of the President's Council of Economic Advisors estimates that government economic regulations take a penny out of every dollar. And that ends this edition of LP News. So we're going to go back through, if you guys remember, like, I'm going to see if we can see, like, all those circled items are things we planned on going back to. Like, look on this page. Look how many we circled. So there's news articles on all that I'm going to try to find. So we probably will have a few more episodes where we're going over this stuff. Maybe even 3 if I find them all. But that will be it for this evening. I'm really sorry for the technical glitches tonight. Completely my fault. I never reboot my computer. And I always end up with some kind of weird glitch that forces me to. And I hope you all have an awesome night.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business, not because they want to